Let's break down a barbell RDL. All right, if you are in a position where you have something that you can elevate your bar on in order to load it, that is going to be your best bet. However, if you don't have a rack or anything like that and you are loading your bar on the floor, I want to go over how to pick up that bar. This is something I see super common that is really important not to do. So a lot of times I see people pick up the bar to do an RDL by just bending over and grabbing it like this and lifting it into position and then starting their good form. You have to always know that when you're picking up any weight, you need to make sure you get that weight as close to the midline of your body as possible and have good form like all of the time, right? Because if we want this to translate to everyday life, we need to be thinking about that all the time and not just when we're actively in the exercise. So approach the bar as you would a conventional deadlift. No, you would never do a conventional deadlift with plates this small, but it's fine just to get the bar up. So we're gonna kind of squat down to get it. You want the bar over your mid foot, maybe even over the knot of your shoelaces. You're gonna kind of squat down, grab the bar, create tension, push the ground away, and bring that bar into starting position. Okay. Now, once we're here in starting position, you're going to hinge, shift around, shifty. You're gonna hinge your hips backwards. You will notice that as I come down, the bar is not leaving my legs. It is touching my legs the entire time. The other thing you'll notice is that my knees aren't moving. So even though I'm bending at the knee, my knees are not coming forward. They're staying over my ankle the entire time. You're gonna come down just below your knees, never bringing your knees forward. You're gonna stop maybe mid-shin, maybe just above mid-shin, somewhere in this region. Come back up slowly. As soon as you clear your knees, it's a hip thrust, okay? So looking at that again. Again, the bar is never leaving my legs. It is sliding up and down my legs the entire time. And once I clear my knees, I'm hip thrusting every time. This movement is a standing hip thrust, okay? Now let's talk real quick about the upper body. So when you are doing a Romanian deadlift, you want to make sure that your upper body is doing all the right things, right? So we want a nice strong core. So we're gonna breathe in at the top, hold that nice and tight at the top of the movement, blow it out, do it again. Nice tight core. We want to expand in all directions, not just in the front, all right? And then with your lats, you're gonna make sure those are nice and engaged. So you're gonna squeeze that orange in your armpits, keeping that bar nice and close. What this is gonna do is not only set up your upper back nice and tight, but it's gonna keep your shoulders in position without you having to think about it, because I don't want you doing this, okay? We want your shoulders to be natural and neutral, but if you're squeezing your lats, they're gonna go right where they need to go, okay? The other thing I want you to remember is neutral spine. So we're not looking down, we're not looking up. We're gonna keep our neck nice and neutral the entire time we are in this movement, and that's just the way it's gonna be. We're gonna keep a nice straight back, so I don't wanna see any rounding, all right? Nice straight back. Something that you can do if you are somebody that struggles with kind of this happening. So one thing we want to do is that we want a neutral pelvis when we're starting this exercise. So your pelvis is not going to be anteriorly tilted, it's not going to be posteriorly tilted. We want to make sure we're nice and neutral. However, as we shove those hips back, some people accidentally kind of try to keep their hips neutral the whole time, and which is good, but they're overcompensating, and instead, as they feel their hips go back, they start to tuck under because they're trying to think hips neutral, even though what they're actually doing is they're tilting at this point. So they start to kind of tuck under as they go, and then we end up with this kind of rounded lumbar region. So something you can do that's a fun cue to remember to keep that pelvis where it is, because here it feels neutral, but once you're here, it doesn't feel like it's neutral anymore, even though it is imagine that your booty is a flashlight and you are shining it behind you. So if we're curved under, then the flashlight's shining down, but if we can shine it out, then all of a sudden, we're in a perfect position, right? And then we come up and hip thrust forward, okay? All right, so let's go through it one more time. Getting the bar close to my body before I lift it up. I'm in position. My lats are squeezed. I'm gonna take a nice deep breath in. Tighten that core, come down. Bar's touching my legs the entire time. Right here I stop, come up just past my knees and hip thrust forward, shining my flashlight behind me. When you bring it down, same thing. Keep it over that midline of your body. Go practice.